money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board here on a Tuesday. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. Coming up in 15 minutes. Outstanding player of the tournament odds are posted pretty much everywhere now. We'll talk about that. And Derek Stevens on the program coming up bottom of the hour. Circa is a major sponsor of the Crown Basketball Tournament. We'll ask him about that. The triple header on Christmas. The wheels are probably already spinning here for Circa Survivor. Does he like it that they're going to? I know he's probably going to say yes. He absolutely loves the triple header on Christmas Day for Survivor purposes.
Uh-huh.
And tonight, Pauly, in Major League Baseball, the Dodgers are trying to become 7-0 on the year. They did it again last night, no problem, against the Atlanta Braves. And Glasnow was good. And, you know, they took about, 50 cents, I think. It was a line move last night. Braves can't hit to begin the season.
Nope.
But now tonight they're going to get Chris Sale, last year's National League Cy Young winner. And this number, moved up to about $1.45 earlier today, with May going for the Dodgers, back down to $1.29 here at Circa.
A lot going on here. They would tie the record with a win, longest winning streak to open the season by a defending champ, the 33 Yankees. Only 3 teams have made the playoffs after starting 0-6. That's what Atlanta could be up against. In May, I would say the one easy guy in the rotation, if you will. First start in 685 days. So when are you going to get the Dodgers at this price? And can Atlanta do anything offensively? They scored late to avoid the shutout, and it snapped the 29-inning scoreless streak, which they had going on as well.
Okay.
So
you kicked this around. We were pontificating earlier in the program, like the matchup where the Dodgers would be an underdog this year. We're always on X. You can get us there at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. This is from Alan Harris. How about Dodgers a dog this weekend in Philadelphia? The projected starters when the Dodgers play the Phillies on the road. Yamamoto against Luzardo on Friday.
Boy, was he filthy.
11 Ks?
Yeah, in 5 innings?
Yeah.
Did he do something with his mechanics? Unbelievable. Hides the ball well?
Yep.
No, Dodgers favored.
Sasaki versus Nola.
Oh.
If it was Sasaki versus Wheeler, Phillies absolutely would have to be the favorite. Will Nola be the favorite against Sasaki? He might be.
Yeah, Sasaki said had some issues with control here.
Yeah. I think that'll be the first time. And then on Sunday, it's Glasnow versus Sanchez. No, the Dodgers will be favored in that game.
Yeah.
But it's going to be,
You can't make Skeens a favorite. I don't care. I'm already turned off by the Pirates. It's bad bullpen, out of the gate, slow. Plus, they roughed them up last year. Ohtani took them deep.
Are you sure about that?
Give me any pitcher.
If it's a fringe guy, what if it's...
Give me Glasnow against Skeens. What's Skeens?
What if it's May? Or what if it's an opener, let's see Gosselin's making a start? Or Sasaki?
I can't. He's probably going to go 5 innings, though. 6 innings.
Could be 6 innings, 2 hits, 9 Ks. But then you turn it over to the bullpen, and then a 7-1 lead turns into a 10-7 deficit.
Well, let's see what he does tonight, though, too. Because a lot of this conversation is if May's pitching. So,
I'll give you another one.
But, not being out there for a long time and see how long he goes, and maybe it doesn't even matter who they throw. Because you saw that the other night when Sasaki didn't have anything.
Here's where they will be a dog, as I'm looking at their schedule. It's later this month. The middle of April. It's the weekend after the Masters. They play 3 on the road against Texas. If DeGrom. He's going to have a couple of more starts between now and then. And if he's humming it in there, DeGrom will be a favorite. Probably, is it regardless of who the Dodgers are going to throw? Would DeGrom be a favorite at home over Blake Snell? I'm going to lean no on that.
Let's see what their record is, though, too. They should take money every day.
Yeah, this is intriguing tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in fact, this kind of tells you, right?
This is the one.
Oh, look at this now. 7-set move on the Braves.
Yeah, I like Atlanta. This is the one where it's like, okay, Atlanta's got to get a win here. This is embarrassing.
Just because you have to win doesn't mean you're going to.
I know, but it's your ace against the back end guy, and you're looking at an 0-6 start here.
Yeah, well, this will tell you that. And they play at Atlanta to begin May. If Sale goes in one of those games, Sale will probably be favored over the Dodgers. But we're talking about only, 5 tops? matchups, if they're healthy, where the Dodgers are going to be a dog this year. Like, they play at Arizona second weekend of May. That's a 4-game set. Are you going to make Corbin Burnes a favorite over some other? I mean, he goes tonight against the Yankees.
Yep.
And maybe Burnes is going to be awesome this year to begin the season.
It's more of an indictment of Warren, though, what the price is there.
Yeah, okay.
And I like Burnes, but...
And going back 2 years ago or even like last year, Gallen at home, okay, interesting. Right now, Gallen at home, early on, maybe not.
No. Fun discussion. Yep.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with the torpedo bats? Like, what do you want to do with the Yankees? De La Cruz. Hey, I'm going to try it in batting practice. It's 2 bombs. One of them's still flying.
Can I give you a good answer? Mm-hmm. I think I have a good answer. Can we round robin home run props?
So there's a lot of good stuff out there about who's using the bats, the bowling pins. Mm-hmm. DraftKings has a great prop up of the torpedo bats and the home run prop with that. That's excellent. Good job, Johnny. Hey, Mitch, how you doing? So you have that. And then it's also, will this continue? Are the Yankees going to set the record for home runs? A good test here going against Burnes. And your comeback has been, wait a second, maybe the Brewers are just all-time bad.
Yep.
And they got roughed up again against Kansas City. And somehow, this Patrick character is a favorite tonight against Lorenzen. And Milwaukee's 0-4, and 3 of the losses are by 9+ runs.
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to win it again. You want to say it about the Braves. The Brewers are going to win a game at some point, but Patrick against Lorenzen. Lorenzen's got he's been rocky, but he also has had stints where he's been pretty damn solid at the same time.
Yeah.
Only game number 2 at the A's ballpark. I don't want to get completely nuts here, but 21 runs last night and 18 by the Cubs. Total here tonight. And now, again, we're talking back end of the rotation guys last night. And now you're going to get Justin Steele for the Cubs and Luis Severino for the A's. In theory, they're 2 aces. Total is 8. Is that enough?
No.
To wipe away the early ballpark factor here where it might not be factored in enough to the number for the total?
No, I watched the game. I think it's a launching pad.
I bet over 8.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. Absolutely.
And what are we talking about for totals here in a month if these games early on here, and it wasn't even like a warm night in Sacramento last night.
That was chilly.
Sure.
Yep.
So what if tonight it's 11-6, and we get off to are we talking about totals here in Sacramento that are going to be touching 11 and a half before it's, this is all hypothetically speaking, because it could be 1-0 tonight. Who knows, to change that entire factor. But early on here, I think you got to try to ride it out.
Mm-hmm. I'm going against Spires tonight. Horrible last year how he closed. 1-4 with an ERA of 9 in his last 10 starts. I like Evaldi and Texas. Hendricks was bad last year. He's going for the Angels against St. Louis. Arenado's been great against him. I see he's minus 240 to get a hit. So you're going to have to go total bases with that, with the Arenado props. 3 home runs, 10 of 48 against Hendricks. And Alonso has bad numbers against Sandy, 5 of 32. And Miami has been outscored 17-5 thus far in the first 5.
Oof.
Although he was great against Pittsburgh and then ran out of gas, although we were all agreed we didn't think he'd throw that many pitches.
Not true.
So, fun season. A lot going on here. And can the Padres keep it going, right? They haven't allowed a run from the 6th inning on, and the pen is 18 2/3 scoreless.
I think tonight, yes. I mean, the market says yes, right? Open up $1.60. Now we're seeing Circa at $1.68. It was $1.75 a little bit earlier today. And this is a spot where it's going to be the 5th guy, in theory, for the Guardians, Logan Allen, pitching against the guy who's considered the ace, and he got to start an opening day for the Padres, and that's Michael King. And he was not great, but last year down the stretch, Michael King was absolutely fantastic. And so, I think they probably do keep it going tonight with another win over Cleveland. I want to really watch this Tigers-Mariners game tonight. Because there's an angle here where, again, it did not go well last night because it was Emerson Hancock, but we did not expect. We talked about the unders, but we're not like saying you got to bet the under. Never did that. Tonight with Gilbert going, and how good he was in the first start, and how good he has a history here, or how last year overall how solid he was, and how awesome he's been at home anyway. Something to keep track of here, maybe pay attention to, is like the first 3 and the first 5 unders with Seattle. And Casey Mize, you don't want to get nuts. I don't really want to go overboard here, but the guy was really, really good in spring training. Maybe that's more of a sign long-term this year than his first start out of the gates, but it's the Seattle offense, man. I don't want to touch it very often.
Yep. And if you think Texas lights up Spires, or the Yankees keep it going, Texas 13-1, Yankees 17-1, most runs tonight. Fun market prop that they have up. Gilbert 4-1, most strikeouts tonight. Sale 8-1, Evaldi 10, Sandy 12.
I tell you, Evaldi was really good in his first start against the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Really good. You got to look down the board, though, because that day that Luzardo went, I think he was probably in the 20-1 range to strike out 11.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Gore that day. What was
50
he? 50-1 that day?
50-1 , yep.
Yeah, that stuff's going to be popping all year long.
Twins going to get a win? How about this? The White Sox, the starting pitcher, hasn't allowed an earned run yet. Twins 0-4. They are, since August 1st, they have a worse record than the White Sox.
Get out of here.
Yeah, 12-31. It's a joke. Can you believe that?
So 2 months plus.
Yeah. Remember they had that horrific collapse?
That's right, yeah.
When they couldn't win a game down this 12-31. Wow. Get out of here. Oh, it's bad. Man. White Sox, a big move on the White Sox today. Tournament might be winding down, but the action never stops. MLB's back. NBA, NHL playoffs around the corner. Masters next week. NFL draft coming up. I see Kuiper's got Dart to the Saints. Stay ahead of every opportunity with a VSiN Pro subscription. Just $9.99. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits, DraftKings, and Circa. The prop analyzer. 24/7 video access. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get it now.
Most outstanding player odds of the tournament next. Flag plus money. Other Dukies have huge numbers, though, next to their names.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Coming up in 15 minutes, Derek Stevens on the program, owner, CEO of Circa Las Vegas. I'm guessing that he loves the triple header on Christmas Day, announced today by the NFL. Big for Circa Survivor. Wheels have been spinning now. Wheels in motion, right?
Yep.
And this also tells me that maybe on Wednesdays, moving forward, when that falls on a Christmas Day like last year, they're only going to put 2 because that's a tricky day to have it. Because then you got to schedule.
You got to follow it up or before the Saturday or
the Saturday before you have to have at least 6 teams involved then. And but I'm going to guess every other day of the week going to be 3. How about when Christmas falls on a Monday next time? You're going to forget Monday Night Football. You're probably going to get a triple header on Monday night. Or on Monday, I should say, right?
Yeah, that's what they did a couple years ago. Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Odds to win the most outstanding player of the tournament at the Final Four. Cooper Flagg plus 115. Do you like that idea as much as betting Duke to win the whole thing?
Nah, 105. Well, that's a good point, too. If you're hedging and if you want to take Duke, to be careful with the prices out here. Like Circa plus 105, plus 110. Other places minus 130.
You saw minus 130?
Well, there's some out there, yeah.
Holy smokes.
There's a big difference at some places. But, one guy was looking to hedge, and he said that's what he was looking at, too, he said, in regards to the guy who's got the $80,000 ticket with Florida. But this is not enough of a big of a gap. This is, it goes back to the Super Bowl MVP discussion with the quarterbacks.
Right.
Just take Duke plus 105.
Sure. Because
you never know. Flagg could get hurt, could miss some time. They have so much talent and so many guys that can beat you. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. They don't have Brown. They don't have Flagg. They're up 25 against North Carolina.
I would say this. To me, if you really like Duke to win the national title, and you've already been betting them, and you're going to bet them against Houston, and you have a future on them, and you're super confident, you probably should be adding Cooper Flagg to win that award, but also add guys like Kneppel and Proctor. They're 35-1 and 50-1 respectively at DraftKings. Isn't there an angle there where one of those guys could win it? They're so consistent, and their performances and output every single game is so impressive as well.
Plus the camera's on him all the time because of his mom. His mom celebrating, and she played and going crazy in the stands.
Yeah.
All that stuff helps.
So I think that if you like Duke, you got to take maybe all 3 of those guys.
They also are deep enough and have enough talent where Flagg can have an off game and they can beat Houston.
Sure.
And still win it all.
When you look down the board, Walter Clayton at Florida is 4-1. Makes sense based on the title odds as well, and you would think that if anybody is going to win it from Florida, I mean, he has a leg up just like Flagg does for Duke. The next guy for Florida on the list is Martin, the transfer, at 22-1. And after that, it's Richard at 30-1. Richard's good. He might have an impact enough on these games if they would win the whole thing to make a case for it. But LJ Cryer for Houston's 8-1. Uzan is 20-1.
Too many different guys.
On Houston?
Yeah.
I would agree. Broom is plus 850. How many other guys can win it on that team?
They've had a strange path here.
Pettiford's 22-1.
They got hot and had the 10-0 run against Creighton with 10 minutes left. We're down 9. I thought they were buried against Michigan. Down 9 with 10 to play and had the 20-2 run.
Came back and
then it was all Broom against Michigan State till he got hurt and they stopped giving him the ball. 17-11 at halftime.
Who's got the best A game remaining?
I think it's Houston. Because if they knock down their threes and they have the number one defense.
I'm not going to disagree.
And I think we saw it a couple times against BYU.
And they basically ran the table in that conference. That's not easy to do.
I can't believe it. I still can't believe it when I was putting that together in that tweet that 30-1 since December 1st. The loss was at home by 1 point to Texas Tech and A&M. To Texas Tech at home in overtime, and that you ran through that league, won the conference tournament, and lost one conference game.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I know.
With all those teams they put in the tournament.
And when you look at the Ken Pom numbers, though, Duke, I think they have the second highest rating ever. His numbers go back to 1997.
Right, and top 5 offense and defense, yeah.
Yeah, the 1999 Duke team, their net rating, it looks like the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right, yeah. So it's Duke.
Yeah, but keep in mind that Duke team did not win at all.
98, 99?
Yeah, that was the Elton Brand team that
Connecticut?
Connecticut got him.
Wow.
Elamine and Richard Jefferson. Great game. And I think Duke a 9-point favorite in that game?
Yes.
And UConn was absolutely loaded to the gills.
Wow.
But that tells you how good Duke was that year.
How about 2000, 2001 Duke? They're third on his list.
That was Jay Williams for sure. Mike Dunleavy, Carlos Boozer probably on that team.
I'm surprised those Carolina teams aren't on here. Was it because the defense?
Any of those 3 years that they won it?
Yeah. I talked about it earlier when I had that Villanova future.
Oh.
Villanova won 30 games. They were in the Big East. They were a Final Four team, and they were getting 9.
It's a great point. That was that 09?
Because of the crazy pace. Well, any of those teams. The team that beat Illinois that was undefeated till late. And then the other team that ran out Michigan State and ran out Villanova. Hansbrough.
Your team was 09, I think, when you had Villanova.
Yeah.
That 09, that's a great point. That Tar Heel team was
were they good?
Insane.
Yes. Offensive juggernaut.
I also personally...
So good, and then the pace got you.
I think I'd put either one of those recent Villanova winners against any of these teams this year.
Okay.
The 16 team and also the way Jay Wright figured out how to play.
Yeah, those were good, yeah.
Like the 18 team, they played exactly like the Golden State Warriors. Everybody could shoot. They spread the ball. Everybody could handle the basketball. They were so good, nobody had an answer for them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that team was sensational.
This is crazy, yeah. His 10 best ratings ever, 10 best teams, going back to 96, 97, and these 4 teams are on the top 10.
Yeah, but he's got to go back one more year. I got it. In fact, go back to the early 90s.
Well, yeah.
Because I want to know 96 Kentucky. I want to know the Fab Five, even though they never won it all. I want to know those Duke teams from 91, 92, and give me UNLV from 1990 and 1991. Go back and look at all those box scores and run the numbers.
4 guys, first-round draft picks, right?
Oh, and they absolutely buried everybody.
Yes. Augman, Johnson, Anthony, Ackles.
The team that beat Duke by 30 in the national title game and scored 100 points.
I forgot about Hunt, Anderson Hunt. Yeah.
Were they good?
Beat Duke by 30. I know, you're right. Thing was over. Incredible. It's a good list, though. And
it's fun to go back and look at it.
Yeah. But these are some stellar teams. Is that right, though? Does the audience agree with us? Does Houston have the best A game? Just because you got the number one defense and you're giving up 56 a game in the tournament, and then what if your threes are flying in?
I mean, if their threes are flying in, then
because you just know it's going to be a war down low and the physicality, and like several coaches have said, you can't prepare for that. And just once it's like, okay, it's real. These guys are.
Well, I guess people come back and say, if you just simply look at the offensive and defensive metrics, Duke's numbers are just better, so then they would have a better A game naturally. And they have Cooper Flagg, who's going to be the number one pick in the draft, and he's an unbelievable college basketball player. And also, like, they have length all over the court. And the way that they move on defense, and Shire did an incredible job with this roster construction. It's unfortunate. I thought about this the other night. I would actually like to see this Duke team play against UConn from last year, UConn the year before. I think those games would be absolute meat grinders, and I would have no idea who would win the game. I think that those would be fantastic matchups if we could see that happen. Unfortunately, just, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
A year late with the party here. So.
Yep. Well, we're on pace for another over. Central Florida opened 1, closed 6. They're up 45-36 at the half against Oregon State. Based on the opening number, every Crown game has gone over. And the first game went over today. Rough landing spot for some of the books, as it went from 139.5 to 147.5 and fell 144. And then this thing moved 4 points. The next two moved 9 points and 10. And 10-point move now in the USC total.
Yeah, where'd this one close?
This was 160, I believe.
That's what I thought. It's 165.5 right now.
The craziness is the next two games. Those are the ones that move 9 and 10 points with the total. But 5-0 the over. Yep, Colorado 137.5 up to 146.5, and USC opened 149.5. There's several 159s out there. There's even a 159.5.
What do you think of Nova still? No, they're laying 4.5. That was 3.
I like Nova.
Yeah. Any other game,
Colorado,
USC's 8.5.
Yeah, Colorado 14-20. Haven't played since March 13th. I think Nova is the side there. Tournament might be winding down. Action never stops. MLB's back. NBA, NHL playoffs around the corner. PGA, NFL draft. Stay ahead, $9.99 daily best bets, VSiN host and guest. The morning email from Bill 80, the prop analyzer. Hoops with the with the college hoops every day. Cohen with the NBA. Wes Reynolds with the golf. It's up there every single day. The prop analyzer, vsin.com/subscribe, $9.99.
Producer Luke just found this as well. At Caesars Well Hill, they have a torpedo boost the way it looks on some of these MLB players tonight. The first one that he sent was Nico Horner, over 1.5 total bases, and Dansby Swanson records a hit. Plus 280. Both guys are using it.
Do you take Cruz again?
I'm a little intrigued.
This is ridiculous, right?
I know.
He's like, okay, let me try this in batting practice.
Sure.
He goes out and hits 2 bombs.
Oh, this is great. I can hit a home run 500 feet now, no problem. Sure, I'll use this in the game.
Well, now apparently Carabas just put something out there. Bregman put something on Instagram.
He's going to start doing it too?
That Bregman was looking at it.
Derek Stevens on the program coming up next. How thrilled are they for Circa Survivor now that we're going to get a triple header on Christmas Day?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We were talking about some of the great teams in college basketball over the years. I think I said Richard Jefferson for UConn. Richard Hamilton was the player.
Yeah, okay.
That's who I meant. And Elamine and everything like that. Yeah, that team was so good.
Yeah.
Derek Stevens joins the program now, owner and CEO of Circa Las Vegas. Busy week for him as always. The Crown Tournament is going on. You were over at MGM Grand Garden Arena, which, by the way, is a great venue to watch basketball games. Can you take us through this process now? We were getting feedback during the show yesterday. Hey, I'm in this state. I'm in that state. They took them off the board. They voided tickets. We can't book them here. We can't bet them here. You had to take it off on what you're in 5 states. Wasn't allowed to be bet on in Kentucky.
Yeah. Yesterday, we're in 5 states, and we booked in 4 of them.
Uh-huh.
We knew earlier that we wouldn't be able to book this in Illinois, and without getting into a long list of reasons why, we knew that was off the table, but we booked. But I'm sitting there at MGM, and I'm in this little VIP section behind the backboard, and I'm in there with the COO of AEG and the chief marketing officer of Vivid Seats and chief commercial officer at JSX and MGM people, and I'm up there watching the games. And I'm betting myself. I'm over there. I'm like, so I bet that first game. I actually put a tweet out about it when I walked down the court. Uh-huh. Like I walked on the court. I'm like, okay, I'm taking the first half over, and I'm taking the game over. I watched them warm up. These guys couldn't miss a 3. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a little shot while I'm sitting over here. and first game went flying over, no problem. So then I go, I bet the second game. And then all of a sudden it was off the board. I'm thinking, what happened? What? I was betting on the MGM app,
uh-huh.
so I didn't know. And then I sent a group text out. I go, hey, guys, my MGM app's not going. Am I just not getting cell service or something like that? And they're like, no, William Hill, Caesar's taking it. No problem over here with everybody with Caesars. And then Mike Palm jumps in and he says, yeah, a couple of my buddies say in Arizona, DraftKings is down. I'm like, DraftKings is down? How come? So then I'm with this fella, Nick Baker, the CEO of AG. I'm like, hey, just looked on Twitter. Looks like DraftKings took this down around the country. He's like, what? So next thing you know, he's texting Amy Howe, who's the CEO of FanDuel, trying to figure out, like, all of a sudden these things started happening. They, like, one thing cascaded to the next. But it was a little bit chaotic because every state has different rulings. They have different regulations. Like we know, like some states will allow you to book Nathan's hot dog eating champion and others won't. It's very normal that we would think about that. You can't book that in Nevada, but we could book it in Colorado. And we have booked it in Colorado every year we could. We've not booked it here. Well, I think the flaw here comes down to one thing. Because this is something new and it's novel, it is not sanctioned by the NCAA. Because remember, the NCAA owns the NIT. Well, this is a competitor to the NIT, and it's going to put the NIT out of business effectively. Because this crowns a much better business model for a million reasons, and NCAA put some complaints out there to some governing bodies, and a few listened to them, and they took it off the board. So that's kind of what happened. I think it's not something that down the road will ever be a problem. It's just I think everyone made the assumption, well, it's college basketball. What do we have to get approval for? That's the issue because it was something new. Look at all these other basketball tournaments we're booking.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to admit, you're scratching your head like, how are we allowed to book some of this 3-on-3 stuff or Athletes Unlimited or whatever? And nobody really thought about why do you have to? This is college basketball. You got Big Ten teams, you got Big East teams, you got legit referees. So I think there's a little bit of a an application submission process that caused a problem, and then every state took their own path.
Well said. Good explanation.
Yeah, good info.
Every game has gone over, too. And we're on pace here. This goes 6-0 to the over here with this Central Florida game, which also moved 5 points.
Well, yeah, it depends. I mean, I bet the first game today it went under by 1.5. I was sweating.
Oh, you were late? Oh, you're late. Okay.
I was a little late.
You got a bad number. Come on, Stevens.
I did get a bad. I was winning a meeting. Man. I bet over 145 to the hook, and it's at 144. I saw it.
Tough one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What that number open up at?
137.
137
and a half.
137.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, the 2 games later on.
The
2 games later on, they moved good 9 points to the total.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, you see that happen.
Sure. What do you guys have going on Friday here for this tournament?
Cool.
We've got the College Basketball Crown Fan Fest. So we've got all the sponsors. We've got a ton of people. We're going to spend the whole day at Stadium Swim. We've got 4 legendary coaches. I think Bill 80's booked a lot of them on here.
I know on our show on Friday we're going to have Lon Kruger and Jim Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
is that right? Yeah, I think
we got four of these former coaches all coming. They're doing like a deal. Cocktails at Legacy Club and doing something at Stadium Swim, and we should have a full house here on Friday going into the weekend.
Did you see this was making the rounds on social media? A guy in July went to one of your books and got Florida 80-1 for $1,000.
I saw that.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think he should do?
Who is it?
He's a listener. He's a viewer.
Okay, I don't know who that is. I saw that. I saw that on Twitter.
He also wins $11,000 to Duke.
Okay, good.
Also,
See, that's why I'm asking. Look, well, who is it? Is $80,000? Is that a lot of money to him or not? You know what I mean?
$1,000 future.
He was asking about hedging, like
Yeah, I would say, yeah. Okay, there's the ticket. I see it up there. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm one that always thinks you got to monetize. You got to make sure you can monetize. If he's got 11,000 coming back on Duke, okay, right. I like that a lot. Sure. So that helps out. But you got to make sure you monetize.
I agree.
Yeah, you're right, because even you hedge.
Yeah, I mean, you want to feel good about yourself. I mean, it depends. I mean, you're doing this to pay the rent. You're doing this to feel good about yourself, or what? But you want to come out ahead on this. I mean, the guy nailed it way in advance.
Damn right.
It's a great ticket to have, obviously. Derek Stevens is in studio with us now. The NFL announced today triple header on Christmas Day, which is going to be on a Thursday. So for Circa Survivor purposes, you guys must love this.
Yeah, we love it. I would say, my phone kind of blew up on this thing, but to be honest, nothing internally on some of these little meetings that we've had changes much, because we were at like in the 99.9% down that path that there's going to be a triple header on Thursday.
Yeah,
that there's no way that the NFL is going to take their foot off the gas for Christmas. They own Christmas now, from a Circa Survivor perspective, we didn't really care if it was on Netflix, if it's on Amazon, or if it's on, Fox, whatever the case may be. But we were pretty sure there's going to be a triple header. I think it's terrific. I love it on Netflix, by the way. I think it was a pretty unbelievable move. It's a great move for the NFL, because Netflix gets the international audience that you want.
Sure.
That they want to own Christmas, not just in the United States. They want to own Christmas everywhere. So I think this is great. So we expect that to be its own separate week.
I think, and we said this earlier, pretty sure that on Christmas Day moving forward now, the NFL knows this. There's no looking back. They're going to have a triple header, except maybe like last year was on a Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday's difficult to schedule a triple header, because then you have to play 6 teams the previous Saturday. So maybe they only do a doubleheader on Wednesdays, but I think every other day of the week it's going to be a triple header.
I agree. I mean, Wednesday is definitely the toughest, but you knew not the Christmas 4 months ago, but the Christmas 16 months ago, when they hit those ratings, you knew the NFL said, okay, we took a shot on Christmas Day, and boom, and within one Christmas they took over that day. They owned the day, and so much so for them to come up with this pretty crazy scheme to figure out how to get 2 games on Christmas on a Wednesday.
Yeah, right.
They're never going to let up now.
No kidding.
Yep.
Yeah,
a lot going on here. Got the Masters party next week. What a spot to watch the Masters at Stadium Swim. The Crown Fan Fest Friday, 12 to 6 at the pool. VSiN 15, by the way, is the to get 15% off at circalasvegas.com and stay at any 3 of the properties and hang with us. Meet Derek, Mike Palm, and spend the day with us. Follow the money beyond the booth. Thanks to Dr. John, Jordan Scott. And the dates are up there. They expanded the dates as well. vsin.com/beyond the booth. You get the owner's suite, holds 20 people, your own bathroom, your own server. The kiosk off to the right. You got the blackjack table. And lovely Sydney as well.
Yeah, ask for Sydney to be the server.
God.
We'll make sure that that's going to happen.
She's on Instagram as well. When I was out there with Nish, beyond the VSiN.com.
I've spent hours on certain accounts on Instagram.
Okay.
Hers may have been one of them.
VSiN.com/beyond the booth. Reserve your day today. Come on, hang out. Any spot you want, any day.
Derek, you're a huge baseball guy. Torpedo bats. Is it a thing, or is this just a fluke?
Oh, no, I think this is a thing.
Yeah, I agree.
This is a big thing. I mean, this is a great concept. It's one of those things like, oh my God, think about that. We're hitting wiffle balls. You remember we got the little like that. It makes so much sense. And you look at the contact of every well hit ball. It's not at the end of the bat. This makes so much sense. I'll be surprised if you don't have half the league using these by next week. I mean,
will the league come in and say, sorry guys, no?
I don't know how you can do it.
I don't think you can either.
I don't think so.
No.
Not now.
Great appearance.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in today again. We appreciate that.
Thanks, guys.
In Pocket plays what we're betting tonight. Next here on Follow the Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
All right. Got too early out of Colorado, but forget about the team total. Couldn't even win the game. Lost to Calgary 3-2 in overtime. That was a loser. Pauly there, no good. On the Avalanche team total over. Texas Rangers today. We're fading Spires, who was awful down the stretch last year, and Texas already has the lead. Hit a home run, and they double, and he got out of it. So to the bottom of the first, 1-0 Texas, and this just came down. I think you got to get, if you didn't jump on. Now he's back down to 20.5. Grimes, 20.5 tonight. Points, it was up to 21.5, came back down. Yabusele's ruled out for the Sixers. You really trust the Knicks defense? Again, someone's got to score. Everyone's out for Philadelphia. And this kid's been great, the numbers he's put up.
Agreed.
So if you want to look at that as well, I think that's a good prop tonight. And no score, bottom of the first, Mets and Marlins. There we go.
Yeah, it's official as of a few minutes ago that Yabusele's going to be out of that game. Okay, so I'm on a bunch tonight. Baseball, Cubs, Athletics. Again, who knows, man? This could be something where we're talking about totals that are touching 10.5, 11 a couple of weeks from now, maybe in the summertime. Could be dead wrong because, again, last night it was 18-3. The fifth starters were going for each team. Estes had absolutely nothing. He got completely rocked. Now tonight you're going to get the so-called aces for both the Cubs and the A's going tonight, Steele versus Severino. But early on here, an 8, that might turn into something much bigger in this ballpark. I got to take it over tonight. And NBA props, treading lightly, and I'll explain why it ties into what you just said. But it's late season, and shenanigans could be pulled with some of these players or teams. But we're going to go Jamal Murray over 3.5 rebounds, minus 105. He's done that in 8 straight games. Kamara for the Blazers, over 1.5 made threes. He's done that in 8 straight games. He's getting the attempts. That's minus 149 when I played it earlier today. Put it up on the picks page. Thought last night was a good night to stay off of Giddey and White for the Bulls because OKC's defense is legendarily good or historically good. They did nothing. Giddey tonight, 35.5 against the Raptors. Back on that to go over. Kobe White, same thing, over 32.5. Each player, 12-3 over last 15 games. And then so a same game parlay that I played in that Sixers-Knicks game was Grimes over 20.5, Edwards over 14.5, and Yabusele over 10.5. But based on, again, the news with Yabusele, this is why I'm trading lightly with these NBA bets.
Yeah.
Dude's ruled out 5 minutes ago. Now, he was questionable, but that was plus 507. That's going to get knocked down to either a loser or now Grimes and Edwards will be a 2-team parlay on that. And I also played Grimes over 28.5 PRA tonight at minus 120. Bunch of bets here in the NBA.
All right. Good luck. Win, lose. In pocket, baby.
Yep.
What do you have with more MLB card tonight with some of these games? I can't believe the Brewers are favored with Patrick going against Lorenzen.
That seems a little surprising to me.
Yeah, with an ERA of 18, and then it's a team that has lost 3 times by 9+ runs at 0-4. I mean, the Royals are no joke. I'm surprised by that, and White Sox taking money. The 0-4 Twins. And Smith makes his debut for the White Sox. And again, the starters haven't allowed an earned run yet. Fun start to the season.
Did we see this one coming in Major League Baseball with the White Sox taking money?
Twice.
They did yesterday and now today yet again?
Yeah, yesterday was no problem. Easy win, right?
I'm going to get some of these other line moves here. Dodgers down to... What, $1.24? That's here at Circa. That was $1.22 not that long ago. Opened up $1.30. So a little bit back and forth, but not a big favorite tonight. I'm sure public money has been all over this Dodgers team again, probably betting the run line. You know what? I'm going to get the betting splits here at vsin.com as well because the Circa numbers will probably tell a story with that Dodgers-Braves game because you just, I mean, really, can you blame the public for betting the Dodgers in all these games to begin the season?
No way.
The way it's going?
Keep it going, yeah.
Sure. So let's see here. Clicking on betting splits at vsin.com.
They've covered the run line every game but one, too, right?
That's right, yeah. And they've won, I think beyond that, they've covered by the 2.5.
Yes, they have.
So you can look at DraftKings and you can also look at Circa. Circa takes a lot of sharp money here. You scroll down and you see that 61% of the handle on the Dodgers, 64% of the bets. So they're a little bit lopsided here to the Dodgers tonight as well. We'll see how that one pans out with Chris Sale going tonight, second start of the year for the Atlanta Braves. The Mets opened up $1.60. They did not take money tonight. It's Sandy Alcantara going for the Marlins. In fact, they moved down $1.47. They closed lowest on the screen the way it looks in this game, and they're scoreless right now, bottom of the first.
Marlins 2-run shot.
Is that right?
Yep, Marlins lead 2-0.
They just scored?
Yep.
Okay.
So how about this discussion with Derek? And you're right, too, about how come we never figured this out. And what the guy for the Twins said, every year there's a new pitch, but we've been using the same broomstick for 100 years.
Yeah.
So De La Cruz uses the trendy torpedo bat for the first time. Single, double, 2 home runs, career high 7 RBIs. Terry Francona said it's not about the batter, it's about the batter, not the bat. But this is just hilarious that he goes in batting practice. Hey, what is that? Let me check it out. How does it feel? Do you want to use it again? Okay, no problem. And what he does. 14 runs were Cincinnati's most since 2023. This is something if this continues. And I love that people are pointing out all the people that are using it. Then you see the stuff on Instagram with Bregman. And then you also have DraftKings putting stuff up with torpedo home run props, too.
Well, they're making it easy for you to find which guys are going to use the bat.
Yeah.
Or publicly said, that's going to be what I'm using moving forward. And what did you say, Alec Bregman?
Yeah. Well, the Carabas put something out there about Bregman put something on Instagram, and he's got the torpedo bat.
Okay. You think Derek's right? We said Derek Stevens, big baseball guy.
You can't ban it.
Oh, God,
right?
they can't. Why? That'd be silly.
If you like offense, and then what do you can't just say a month into the season, no good. Can't do it. It's in the rule. It's legal in the rule book.
Right. I was texting Jensen Lewis, morning show host here on VSiN, back and forth on this. You know what? I'm going to pull it up right now because he had a pitcher who was very outspoken about it.
Okay.
And because the pitcher said, here you go. It's Matt Strahm with the Phillies on the torpedo bats. Quote, if pitchers mattered in this game, maybe I'd have an opinion. But we get checked like criminals every time we walk off the mound. That's actually true.
Good, right?
So I don't think our opinion matters anymore.
Oh, come on. Brian Kenny's right. Every thing technology-based has been geared toward pitchers.
Yeah, he continued to say, I think they made that very clear. It's all about offense. So, let's make more offense. My comeback to Jensen was, well, wait a second here. Hasn't batting average been on the decline for years in baseball? Right? Or it had a significant dip from when it was actually a decent number still years ago because it turned into basically only 3 outcomes. It was going to be like a strikeout, a home run, and not much else was going to happen.
How can you compare putting something on the ball to do tinkering with the bat? You
can't.
Which is legal. He's awful with that. It's terrible.
I just, again, this really... The first reaction I had when the Yankees were going nuts against the Brewers on Saturday, and then everybody's tweeting about these torpedo bats, and then, some MIT genius figured this out. And I'm like, you're telling me that baseball's been around for 200 years and nobody else had this idea. But then Jensen also said that batters knew about this 10 or 15 years ago, but they were very slow to come around to it. Based on these earlier results, how do you say no to it? It looks like...
Did he elaborate? Was it the look? Was it because it looked funny?
I can go back and check.
Okay.
But how does it look funny?
Well, it looks funny. Like a bowling pin, like an eraser.
I'm a big bowler, though, so right. Well, I used to be, so maybe I appreciate that.
Right.
But I would.
You don't think it looks funny? Come on, you have to admit that. The bat looks funny. It looks like a bowling pin.
A little bit.
All right, continue.
No, if I had my choice of which bat I'm going to use, and somebody showed me this, and they showed me a regular standard like bat that's been used for like a Louisville Slugger, I'd clearly say, yeah, give me that one. That looks way better.
Well, Stanton was doing this in the playoffs, though, too. Stanton was using this when he got hot and you couldn't get him out.
The torpedo bat?
Yes, he was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We know that now?
Yeah.
Huh. Was that a story last year? I don't remember that being a story last year.
No one mentioned it. It's like, wow, look at Stanton and home runs every game. What a run he's on.
Yeah, I know. It's guy's suddenly hot again.
Yeah. I hope we can work it out. I want to get Susan Waldman on the show. She's got some good stuff, too, about how they talked Bellinger into it. And he didn't want to do it. It's like, okay, why not? And then he goes deep.
Let's get completely nuts. Let's say 10 guys hit 50 home runs this year, and they all use torpedo bats, or most of them do. Then what?
Then nothing.
Then nothing?
It's legal. What are you going to put in the rule book?
No, I don't know.
It's not, it can't be.
But I mean, what's MLB going to do? Are they going to allow it to happen?
You're right. The game's been around so long, you can't just say, "Oh, sorry, no more torpedo."
Yeah,
bats.
No, sorry. Yeah, we never approved it before, or we're going to have to put our foot down right now and say, nope, not going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of like Yankee Stadium. Well, it's not fair. Look how short the porch is. that. That's how the stadium's built.
Stay tuned. Prime time next for a solid 4 hours. Good luck betting.